Now dear students, in this section we are going to study about the arrays. Already in the previous videos we have discussed a very little bit about the arrays and different types of arrays, but in this section we will study in depth about the arrays. So we are going to study about arrays. Arrays is actually is a consecutive group of memory location that are of same type. To refer to a particular location or element in the array, we specify the name of the array and the position number of the particular element in the array. So for declaring an array, we need two things. The first one is the data type. The second is the name, and with the name you are going to write down these square brackets, and if you add at the end a semicolon, then in this way you have just declared a array with the name the name of that array. So in the square brackets you will write the length of the array, or you can also say the size of the array. Now, and if you want to initialize this array, then you can do that. You don't have to write this semicolon, then you will write equal to, then in these curly braces you are going to write your value 1 after comma, then value 2 after comma, then so on, and you can write your any number of values in this way, and at the end you have to write the semicolon. But you have to make sure that the values only that positions you can be initialized, the number of positions you have specified in this square brackets of the array, actually the size of the array. So let's say if you want to want 10 locations of an int, actually this array data type actually covers certain memory in the microcontroller. So let's say if you want multiple variables, let's say if you want to a variable for storing the speed of the vehicle, or some other variable where you want to write the temperature, ambient temperature. Similarly, different parameters if you want to read from the some sensors, and through that you want to store the values in different in the different variables, then you can specify a simple array, and based on the indexing you can store those values. So let's just go into more details. Let's say if we have data type, let's say we want an int data type, so I can say that int, and let's say we have one variable with the where we want to store the temperature, then I can say we have declared a variable int temperature. Then if I want to store the speed, then I want another variable, that is speed. Let's say if I want to store the energy consumption, then I can declare another int variable. But if you have number of things you want to store in the number of things you are going to read from the outside world of the microcontroller, then you can do this by specifying like int, and you can say that data read, and then you can add this square brackets, and then over here you can see that as let's say we are going to read temperature, speed and energy, as we have three quantities that we are going to store. So I can specify that over here I will write 3, which means I am going to use 3 int variables. So then is equal to, then in over here in curly braces I can say the first at first position of this array I will have my temperature, and the second position I will have speed, in the third position I will have energy written at that location. So over here then in this single line I have declared 3 positions in the memory that are of int data type. So I can then remove this and can use this int array. Similarly, if you declare character, then you can write my string, and then you can specify, let's say, length of 40, and in this way you can declare a character string. So in this way you declare different types of arrays, and you specify the data type. Actually, the main things that we require for specifying the array is the data type, then we have to specify the name, and then we have to specify the length of the array. So the next thing, let's say if I write an int data type, and I am going to write the let's say customers, and then I'm going to write in the square bracket, let's say we have 10 customers, and we are going to initialize those customers. Let's say the first customer has spent 100 rupees, and the second has spent 250 rupees, the third has spent, let's say, 20 rupees, and similarly if we move on, then we can, let's specify all the 10 values. How many we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then we have 9, then we have 10 location, then at the end we have a semicolon. So what we have done over here is that just I am giving a little space so that it looks little beautiful. Now what I have done, that I have declared 10 customers, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and given that the data type is the int. So what actually is the first location, this the 100 is actually at the location 0. So the index of this 100 is 0. So if I write over here, let's say if I write customer and then I specify 0, then actually I am, in this way I am going to access the 0th position, that is the 100. Similarly, if I want to access the next position, the 250, then I am going to write over here 1 to fetch this value or to update the value at the first location. So if we write over here the size of the array as 10, but actually the array starts from the 0. So 100 is at 0 index, 250 is at 1, 20 is at 2, 85 is 3. Similarly 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 58 will be accessed when we are going to write over here in this square brackets for accessing the value 9. So you have hopefully understood that we can specify the data type, name, and even we can initialize that memory location that array has occupied, and the first location in the array is always at the index 0. So hopefully you have understood the very basic concept about the array. In the future, in the coming videos, we will be trying to manipulate different types of array. We will trying to initialize the array in a different method. So hopefully you have understood the concept of array.